Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with some juice to get you through the long night. Theon GreyJoy, the last living son of Balon GreyJoy, the ward of Eddard Stark, the Prince of the Iron Islands, the Prince of Winterfell, Theon Turncloak, Reek, Theon Ghost in Winterfell. Theon GreyJoy grew up in Winterfell amongst Ned Stark's children. Some would call him a ward, others would call him a hostage. Theon himself didn't know who he was or who he was supposed to be. He had struggled with his identity his whole life, and Ramsey made that struggle an impossible feat. He was raised the same as the Stark children, amongst the old gods. He was taught honor and disciplines. He was trained the same as Robb and Jon by Sir Roderick Castle. Yes, Theon was raised as a Stark, but his blood is salt and iron, for he was a kraken out of water. Theon regards Robb as his brother, but he betrayed him all the same, to please his father. Theon needed acceptance from someone. He wanted to be a Stark, and trying to please them, knowing he could never be them, also worked on his psyche. Theon shows signs of being schizophrenic or having a personality disorder early on in our story. And Ramsey's traumatic torment and mind games only makes this worse. In Dance with Dragons, Theon's utterly insane. He's out of touch with reality. He is out of his fucking mind. Also, in Dance of Dragons, there is a mystery killer in Winterfell, a ghost. And I believe it was Theon. In chapter 13, Reek, Theon is in a dungeon under the Dreadfort. He has caught a rat and bit it while it was alive and squirming. When Little Walder and Big Walder come to get him from the cell and take him to Ramsey, blood is dripping from his mouth. A lot happens afterwards. He's Reek, then he's Theon, then Reek, then Theon. But in chapter 42, Theon Turncloak, Theon takes Lady Barbara Dustin into the crypts of Winterfell at her request. While in the crypts, they notice missing swords. The sight disquieted him. He'd always heard the iron in the sword kept the spirits of the dead locked in their tomb. If a sword was missing, there are ghosts in Winterfell, and I am one of them. A Ghost in Winterfell is a chapter in Dance with Dragons. The first dead man they found was a 44-year-old Ryswell soldier found at the base of the inner wall of Winterfell. He was covered in snow, and Ramsey's dogs found him. He was supposed to be drunk. Most people agree that he slipped and fell drunk off the battlements. A Frey squire was found dead, naked, and he was another accused of being drunk. Then there was a crossbowman sworn to the flints that was found dead in the stables with his skull crashed in. Ramsey declared he was kicked in the head by a horse. Overnight, a stable collapsed, and horses died, men died, and by the time they had dug out the dead men, one of Ramsey's favorites was found dead, Yellow Dick. Yellow Dick was found outside of the kitchens, buried in snow up to his neck with his dick cut off and stuck into his mouth. Theon goes for a walk around Winterfell late at night. He's been doing this, but he came upon a man striding in the opposite direction in a hooded cloak. Their eyes briefly met. The man put a hand on his dagger. Theon Turncloak, Theon Kinslayer, the man said. Theon begins to mutter, I was iron-born. False is all you were. How is it you still breathe? As Theon continues to walk around in the snow-covered yard and walk the battlements, he talks of the ghost, the kings of winter, and the younger ghost that he made, Mikken and the others. My work, my ghost. The ghosts are all here, and they're angry. Later, when Theon returns, Roose Bolton and Lady Dustin ask him what he does when he's on his walks. Theon has been observed being everywhere there has been a death. Also, they ask him if he is responsible for the killings. They come to the conclusion he is not the killer, because he doesn't have enough fingers. He is weak, and Roose says he could never betray Ramsey. Yeah, Reek could never betray Ramsey. The dead were all strong men. He couldn't have done it. And Theon Turncloak is not our killer. Not of those men, anyway. He left them and started to walk again. In the yards, around the inner wall, on the battlements, his pants caked in snow up to his knees. Theon went to the Godswood, and he hears the trees rustling his name. Theon, they called. He briefly remembers who he was. Not Reek, but Theon. He falls to his knees and prays for a sword. He hears the tree say Bran, and when he looks at the tree, he swears he sees Bran's face. A washerwoman found him. They hear him talking. The washerwomen are 6 spearwives that accompany Mance to Winterfell. Mance is glamored as Abel the Bard, a singer. The spearwives call his name Theon Turncloak. They admit to killing Yellow Dick and the others. They want Theon's help. Theon agrees to help Mance and the spearwives rescue fake Arya. As morning came and breakfast was upon them, there was another murder. In this one, the spearwives admittedly deny killing. Sir Halstein Frey came in, caked in snow to the waist, holding a dead body. It was little Walder, the big one. The washerwoman immediately denied any responsibility. Little Walder was a 9-year-old boy. Little Walder was found dead near the entrance of the crypts, and Theon killed him. Let's look at the evidence. Firstly, let's see if Theon has the symptoms of schizophrenia. Some include hallucinations and delusions, being paranoid, and an unusual or dysfunctional way of thinking. Theon is paranoid about basically everything. He constantly has to remind himself who he is so he won't forget his name. Reek, it rhymes with sneak. The night little Walder was killed, Theon is in the Godswood. He is remembering who he is, Theon of House Greyjoy, when he is approached by the spearwife. She convinces him to meet Abel, glamored Mance, at the burn tower. Little Walder is found dead by the crypts, or the first keep, in a snowbank. The keep Ramsey destroyed. Theon didn't necessarily love Little Walder or even like him. Little Walder was Ramsey's squire, and Reek notices in an earlier chapter that he becomes more like Ramsey, and he's actually disturbed by it. Little Walder was waiting for someone who owed him money from shooting dice. If Little Walder was waiting near the crypts for the dice money, when Theon left the Godswood to meet Mance in the Burn Keep, he would have had to walk past Little Walder. Little Walder probably followed him, being nosy, and overheard his conversation with Mance, leading Theon to butcher him. Theon carried a dagger, and Theon was absolutely terrified of Ramsey. If he thought Little Walder overheard anything, he would have killed him. Reek wouldn't have done it. That's true, but he wasn't being Reek. He was being Theon, and Theon isn't above killing children. Theon acts as if he has no idea what happened to Little Walder when his body is brought to the Great Hall during breakfast. And quite likely, he doesn't remember killing Little Walder because he is schizophrenic. The spearwives didn't do it. They did a lot of killing, and they admitted every one. Why deny this one? Furthermore, whoever did it, or if someone else did it, Mance and Theon would have heard it or saw it because they were in the exact location the body was found. Theon believes himself to be a ghost stuck in Winterfell. At times, he doesn't know if he's dead or alive. He is literally fucked up in his head, and he gets brief moments of sanity here and there when he's in the Godswood. To prove a murder, you need motive, opportunity, and means. The motive is simple. Little Walder was Ramsey's minion, and he overheard Theon's plans to free Jean Poole. The opportunity was that the castle slept while Theon walked the grounds. Again, Little Walder was where Theon just had been, and the means was the dagger that he carried. Do you guys have any ideas on who the mystery killer at Winterfell was? I'm sold on Theon. I'd like to know who you thought it was. Again, if you haven't read the books and you want to, you can use my link and get a free 30-day trial of Audible, and your first book is free. That link will be in the description box. As always, like this video if you like it. You can connect with me on these social medias. Click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can become a sweet summer child. Okay, my sweet summer children. Have a good day.